Hey guys, so this is my reaction to exposing every lie in Wizards' official statement by D&D Shorts. This is a shorter video of my last one where I react to D&D Shorts reaction, which is only 11 minutes long. So it's shorter, but both videos get the same point across. If you want to hear my own raw reaction to the document itself, then I'll leave a card right up there so you can go watch that video. But I warn you, it's a beast. So if you just don't have the time or the inclination due to drama drain, or you just don't care about me that much to sit through an hour of my political ranting, then this is the video for you. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. Watch later. Let's see. Here it is. Here it is. By D&D Shorts exposing every lie in Wizards' official statement. It is 11 minutes long, so it's
okay.
So it's only 11 minutes long. So I'm gonna so I lied with the document. I lied with the official response. So I'm gonna stay true to my word here, and I'm going to watch the whole thing start to finish, and then provide commentary. Maybe go back to the start of the video, and then talk through it.
Okay, so Wizards of the Coast have released their official statement on D&D Beyond. It's
Right.
really bad, but the way in which it's bad is really interesting, and it shows that
Okay.
Wizards are still completely tone deaf as to what people are really angry about. So we're going to go through top to bottom and expose every time they lie and work out what they actually mean when they say things. Okay, when we initially covered the revising of the OGL, it was with three major goals in mind. First, we wanted the ability to prevent the use of D&D content from being included in hateful and discriminatory products. This is the first lie. This whole discriminatory content thing seems to be a smokescreen for the real malicious intent of this OGL. We all agree that discriminatory content...
Yeah, I lied again. I'm gonna do commentary on my own. Yeah, I talked about this in my last video when I read through the document myself. But yeah, like hateful and discriminatory, they never define that. They never give an actual definition. They never give any examples. So yeah, they're leaving this intentionally vague so that they can just censor whatever content they don't like, or act as some sort of executive wing for the like leftist Tumblr mob, because you know that's where all the leftists went. They're not on Twitter anymore. They're on Tumblr. And don't even mention the Hive. No one uses the Hive. The Hive is gonna die out like Parlor did. Good gracious. But yeah. So this is just gonna leave this intentionally vague so they can do it entirely arbitrarily.
Content is bad, and we don't want it in the game. But here's the thing, the old OGL actually covers this already. I'm gonna quote directly from the lawyer I've been working with, Noah, at my lawyer friend on Twitter. Quote, "Wizards can do more than just revoke the old OGL generally. They can revoke it specifically, meaning they can reach out to a particular creator specifically and say, your license under the OGL is revoked. They don't even have to give notice. They can just issue a DMCA. So legally, even with the existing OGL that everyone really likes, if you made discriminatory content, Wizards could go to you and revoke your personal license. They can say, this material is offensive, you can't make content anymore."
Interesting. I did not know that. So, okay. I did not know that when I made my earlier video. So I guess that's also a critique for the old OGL. And the critique for this one is that hateful and discriminatory content has absolutely no place in this discussion. It's one of the first things you learn in calculus. You gotta subtract the lowest common denominator and round the two problems, round the two numerals down to their lowest value. So why take the time to even mention that if that's going to be the same?
This new OGL changes nothing about that. Second, we wanted to address those attempting to use D&D in Web3, blockchain games, and NFTs by making it clear that the OGL content is limited to tabletop role-playing content like campaigns, modules, and supplements. I've said this on Twitter a bunch of times, but Hasbro are in favor of all of these things. What they don't want is other people to earn money off them. Hasbro are literally selling, right now, Power Rangers NFTs. They are
Okay. So this is very much rules for thee and not for me, is what this is. We can make D&D related NFTs all we want, but oh no, that's asking too much.
pro NFT. And third, we wanted to ensure that the OGL is for the content creator, the homebrewer, the aspiring designer, our players, and the community.
Yeah, again, we already went over this in my last video, but I think we can all agree that that's probably the most egregious and most offensive lie in this whole document.
Not major corporations to use for their own commercial and promotional purpose. Again, Wizards, you are the major corporation here. Acting like Paizo and Kobold Press and MCDM aren't part of the D&D community just because you are jealous that they earn lots of money is not a good look for you. Driving these goals were two simple principles. Our job is to be good stewards of the game. Obviously, we know that's a lie. I've heard from countless WoTC employees and leakers that the executives really do only care about the bottom line.
Right, yeah, there was another leak I didn't talk about in my last video, but there was another leak where it wasn't any internal document, but it was like it was a WoTC employee talking about conversations that they've overheard in management, where like the managers and the executives referred to the customers as obstacles between the company and their money. So like the executives at Hasbro believe that the executives at Hasbro think that what they're doing is mugging you with extra steps. That's what they think that they're doing. This is, you give us your money, our giving you a product or service in return is merely a formality. Whether or not you like that product or service is entirely irrelevant. So, yeah.
They are not actually interested in the game or the community. And obviously their actions on the OGL support this. This is another lie. And two, the OGL exists for the benefit of the fans. Nothing about those principles has wavered for a second. The original OGL might exist for the benefit of the fans, but the new one definitely only exists to benefit Wizards of the Coast. That was why our early drafts of the new OGL included the provisions they did. Again, these were not drafts. The leaks we have seen are not drafts. They were a finished product. It was sent out to creators with a contract for them to sign. You don't send out contracts with a draft.
Oh, okay. So I got that wrong in my last video. So, okay, so I just want to say, I haven't been keeping track, but I want to say 3 things wrong. Camera, there's. I've gotten 3 things wrong in my last video that this guy contradicted. and they've been worse. It's been worse than what I thought it was. It's my D&D fanboy up here who's trying constantly to give them a benefit of the doubt, but nah.
That draft language, not a draft, was provided to content creators and publishers so their feedback could be considered before anything was finalized. Again, more bullshit. They intended to release this content to creators and give them 1 week to sign, otherwise their entire business license would be revoked. This isn't how you get feedback from creators, this is how you force creators to knuckle under. In addition to the language allowing us to address discriminatory and hateful conduct and clarifying the types of products the OGL covers, our drafts included royalty language designed to apply to large corporations attempting to use OGL content.
Again, in the document they never define large corporation, but they, in the OGL, the size of your company and whether or not it qualifies as a large corporation is purely based on your company's gross income, not net profit or even employee count, which is like the legal definition for the size of a company. So
it was never our intent to impact the vast majority of the community. So I've been told by a couple of different senior inside sources at WoTC that the executives fucking hate that big companies like Kobold Press, MCDM, and yeah, even Critical Role make tons of money off D&D. They simply cannot stand it. This whole clause was there to hurt those companies out of jealousy and spite. However, it's clear from the reaction that we rolled a 1. It has become clear that it is no longer possible to fully achieve all 3 goals while staying true to our principles. So here's what we're doing. The next OGL will contain the provisions that allow us to protect and cultivate the inclusive enjoyment we are trying to build, and specify that it covers only content for TTRPGs. That means that other expressions such as educational and charitable campaigns, live streams, cosplay, VTT uses, etc. will remain unaffected by any OGL update.
Oh, wizards. Oh, how you bless us. Oh, how we worship the dirt you walk upon. You have respected our freedom of speech, and to the very slightest degree. Oh.
So this is a weird choice. It's basically nonsense, and it's designed to make you feel good. They're throwing around words like educational and charitable, but these were never in any doubt. No.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to know why this was never in any doubt? Because the OGL is a legal framework. And what they just said that they were going to do in terms of respecting campaigns and charitable events and videos, podcasts, cosplay, all that stuff, that falls under the First Amendment. As in the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights in the Constitution of the United States of America, which is like illegal plus to disrespect. So if they didn't do those things, they would be tried for a whole lot more than a class action lawsuit. So they're literally patting themselves on the back for doing the barest minimum possible.
No one was ever looking at the old OGL and thinking they're coming for the charities. No, they've not changed anything by saying we're leaving educational and charitable content alone. That was always the case. What they are changing is they seem to be letting VTT uses go. So they've given up on trying to control the virtual tabletop creators, at least for now. What it will not contain is any...
Oh, I'm a moron. Oh, I'm a fool. Okay, that's... I read that in my last video, and I'm like, VTT? What the hell is that? And I didn't even bother looking up virtual tabletop. Oh, I'm a dunce. Oh, pray to God I never go up against a Sicilian with death on the line.
Royalty structure. This is because Wizards know they will lose in court if they try to take some of Paizo's money. They gave it a good old try, but it turns out when you're trying to break the law, it's best to just back off when people call you on it. It will also not include the license back provision that some people were afraid was a means for us to steal work. That thought never crossed our minds. Bullshit. Wizards, are you seriously trying to tell us that your billion-dollar company made this contract looked over by some of the best lawyers in the world, and it never even occurred to anybody that the terms you were putting in let you steal other people's content?
Well, it's such a long document. They just, I don't know how that could possibly have snuck in there. Oh, maybe it was between the get and stuffed when referring to the community and the gamers themselves.
No fucking way. If the intention wasn't to let you steal other people's content, you wouldn't have hidden that clause behind really carefully chosen wording to distract people from what you were actually doing. They tried to sneak this theft by. They got caught, and the best defense they could come up with was, "Oops, sorry, we are so incompetent we didn't even realize that we were trying to steal." Under any...
Yeah, because even if that were true, even if they were telling the truth, that's worth abandoning this company on principle. Because if they really are that incompetent, that something that evil can get into a legal framework for any bad actor to manipulate, and they just didn't catch it. That's like, okay, maybe that's putting your customers, your employees, and like any associate of your company in a lot of risk and a lot of danger. So that's worth like backing off from the company in general. Like, let's be honest, would you really want to associate yourself with a fire station that's prone to committing arson? No, you wouldn't. So why would you do this? Why would you engage with a company that's incompetent enough to do this?
New OGL. You will own the content you create. We won't. Again, there is a difference between you owning the content you create and you giving Wizards the rights to license and sell it. Just saying you own something doesn't actually mean very much. Any language we put down will be crystal clear and unequivocal on that point. That'll be it first. The license back language was intended to protect us and our partners from creators who incorrectly allege that we steal their work simply because of coincidental similarities. As we continue to invest in the game that we love and move forward with partnerships in film, television, and digital games, that risk is simply too great to ignore. This bit is probably true. Wizards of the Coast need to be careful that anything they make isn't similar to something someone else made, or they could get sued. The new OGL will contain provisions to address that risk, but we will do it without a license back and without suggesting that we have rights to the content you create. Your ideas and imagination are what makes this game special, and that belongs to you. That's a really nice sentence. It's a shame it doesn't really mean anything. A couple of last thoughts. Firstly, we won't be able to release the new OGL today, because we need to make sure we get it right, but it is coming. I know you know this, but until we see the OGL, everything they say here means absolutely nothing. There's something in law called the Four Corners Rule, which basically says if it's not within the four corners of the page that you sign, it doesn't have any bearing on the law at all. Anything they promise here means absolutely nothing until we see that OGL. This is just a desperate attempt to stop people from cancelling their D&D Beyond subscriptions. Second, you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won, and so did we. No, Wizards, you didn't win. You never intended to listen to the community. You sent this through with NDAs, and you've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars overnight, and you've lost billions of dollars worth of public trust. This is not a win. Aside from just being...
Exactly. Well, you cannot put a dollar value on goodwill, faith with your customers. You cannot. Because... at that point, because like honestly, if you like, that's how you become a corporation in the first place. is by making yourself the brand name that people can trust in your industry. That's why we're even talking about this. That's why Wizards was able to get into a place where they could do this and screw up this badly in the first place. So when you think about it, every single corporation, because corporations will always crumble, when you see corporations like this, like, crumble and fail and fall apart in this exact fashion, it's always on some degree a fall from grace. It's always on some degree they were the hero that became the villain. They were always the Anakin that became the Darth Vader. There's always some level of betrayal in that, and that sucks.
Cringy and pathetic, this statement is also really evil. They are trying to suggest that people like me will announce that we've won, but we haven't won. They're trying to say, look, it's over, you won. No, we didn't. We have not won until the original OGL is guaranteed. Until we hear that that OGL license is protected and the future content made by it will be protected and Wizards can't steal it and Wizards can't change their mind later, This is not won. Don't let this wording convince you that the fight is over. This is Wizards trying to get people to stop fighting. Our plan was always to solicit the input of our community before any update to the OGL.
Okay. This is something I went over in my last video. Oh man. I went off on a huge tangent about how they're essentially framing that the drafts and everything was on purpose to gauge community reaction. And when I read that, I just about had a conniption. I probably did. I don't know.
The drafts, not drafts, you've seen were attempting to do just that. Again, another lie, these drafts were sent out with NDAs, specifically to prevent creators from sharing it. I want to remind you that it's only because some content creators were brave enough to risk their entire livelihood to expose these documents that we know anything about it. They tried to sneak this by. They did not want an open discourse here. We want to always delight fans and create experiences together that everyone loves. We realize we did not do that this time, and we are sorry for that. Our goal was to get exactly the type of feedback on which provisions worked and which did not, which we ultimately got from you. Again, no it wasn't. They had a finished agreement and it got leaked and now they're in crisis control. Any change this major could only have been done well if we were willing to take feedback. No matter how it was provided, so we are. Again, reminder, they've only released this now because people have started cancelling on D&D Beyond. The only feedback Wizards understands is money.
Which is good. You gotta vote with your dollar in order to make these kinds of changes. So good on Wizards for realizing this and having the mental awareness to even go into crisis control. It's just too bad that their definition of crisis control is blatant gaslighting.
Thank you for caring enough to let us know what works and what doesn't. What you need and what scares you. I hate this bit. What scares you? It's a subtle attempt to make the community sound weak, like we're all running around terrified. We're not scared, we're angry. We're pissed off that you keep trying to exploit us. Without knowing that, we can't do our part to make the new GL match our principles. Finally, we'd appreciate the chance to make this right. We love D&D's devoted players. Wizards, we've heard from your own company, people who work there, that you really don't love us.
Hold on. Wait, I think this is it. I think this was the thing that I was talking about before. Okay. I'm going to read this out. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is a leak. This could be fake, but this is a leak from an internal at World of Warcraft? No. Oh my god. Wizards of the Coast. I'm so tired. It's 11 o'clock at night. Hi, I'm an employee at Wizards of the Coast, currently working on D&D Beyond, and with D&D business leaders on the health of the product line. If you want, I can provide proof of this. I'm sending this message because I fear for the health of a community I love, and I know that the leaders at WoTC are looking at. I know what the leaders at WoTC are looking at. They are briefly delaying rollout of OGL changes due to backlash. Their decision making is based entirely on the provable impact to their bottom line. Specifically, they're looking at D&D Beyond subscriptions and cancellations, as it is the quickest financial data they can have. Okay. They are still hoping the community forgets, moves on, and they can still push this through. I have decided to reach out because at my time at WoTC, I have never once heard management refer to customers in a positive manner. Their communication gives me the impression that they see customers as obstacles between them and their money. Okay, yeah, this is what I was talking about before. The DDB team was first told to prepare to support the new OGL changes and online portal when they got back from the holidays. And leadership doesn't take any responsibility for the pain and stress they cause others. Leadership's first communication to the rank and file on OGL was 30 minutes on the 11th of January 2023. Okay. So their conversation with D&D Beyond team about how they were going to implement this and announce it was only 30 minutes. This was the first time they even tried to communicate their intentions about the OGL to the employees. And even in this meeting, excuse me, even in this meeting, they blamed the community for overreacting. I repeat, the main thing is leadership. The main thing is leadership is looking at D&D Beyond subscription cancellations. Hope your day goes well.
You despise us and you see as obstacles to your money. We love D&D's devoted players and the creators who take them on so many incredible adventures. Yeah, coming from the contacts I have inside Wizards of the Coast right now, if there's one group of people Wizards hate even more than the players, it's the creators like me. They fucking hate me right now. Finally, they say, we won't let you down, but they did. They did. So yeah, basically this document is dishonest at best and full of lies at worst. But more importantly, it means literally nothing until we actually see the OGL 2.0. Yep. Remember, if there is any clause in there that says they can change it later, everything they say means nothing. Remember to cancel your D&D Beyond subscription.
Exactly. If there's any clause that makes this to any degree a malleable document or malleable framework, then what they're hoping for, they'll get. They're hoping that we just forget about this, like every corporate drama, and move on and just lie down and take it. So if they make all of the concessions that we're demanding and make it pretty much the exact same as the first OGL, and then the minute everyone stops talking about it and goes back to playing D&D, they secretly, under the cover of night, release OGL 4.0 and brings back all the changes we were complaining about, but nobody catches it because the scandal's over, then they win.
If you haven't already, it really is the only language these people understand. I've also been in direct contact with a senior inside source at Wizards of the Coast who has whistleblown this entire thing. We've got to
Good.
be extremely careful with how we release this information because that person could get sued. But that video will come soon, and this stuff goes way further back than the OGL.
And I'm going to be doing a full reaction to that one as well.
It exposes Wizards' entire plan. It is massive, but again, I have to be so careful to protect the people who are working at Wizards of the Coast and are sharing these leaks with us as they come out.
I talked about this in my last video, but I have a feeling that the TLDR of the video he's making is go play Pathfinder. Go play Pathfinder or make your own system. I might make my own system. I might get with my D&D group and make my make my own D20 based on 5th edition, the same way Pathfinder was based on 3.5.
But seriously, buckle up, because WoTC's real OGL and the real story behind the D&D Beyond acquisition is wild. But yeah, thanks for watching. #OpenDND, and I'll see you next time.
So I had this idea.
Okay. Hold on. Go back.
Okay.
Go back. Okay. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell. Okay. Well, that's really gonna be it for my recording session tonight. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm sorry. Minecraft Part 2, my 2023 Minecraft playthrough Part 2 hasn't been released yet or even streamed yet. Things have just gotten wild, and I haven't had the time to give a proper update. So I'll stream when I can, but it will most definitely be sooner than later. I can guarantee you that. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.